Awesome fight card. Let's go to another awesome fight card. You were at the Logan Paul fight.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, the KSI Tommy Fury fight sucked, man. It was just so bad. Tommy Fury is really not good.
Yeah.
He's like really bad. He's really bad at boxing. And like,
well, compared to what?
At this point, we don't know, but like
professional boxer.
Yeah, compared to what he should be, which is a professional boxer.
Especially
like,
when your brother's.
He comes from a legacy of like boxing. Like he's just been around it his entire life. He should absorb it. Like, and listen, here's the thing. KSI has like this really weird style, which actually makes sense for how little he's been boxing. He has power and he has speed. So you curate a style that works for what you have. He's not gonna outbox a guy who's been boxing for 15 years by standing in front of him. You have to curate a style that maximizes the things that you do well. So he was doing this like karate kind of stance and really creating distance, then lunging in. Tommy could do absolutely nothing to mitigate it.
Yeah.
Like there was no adjustment made. Like,
what do you think the adjustment is?
You beat him to the punch with a straight right.
Okay.
Or you get the jab going. He kind of stuck the jab a little bit and then kind of stopped, but no change happened. Like, I think Tommy probably won the fight. It was close, but it shouldn't be close.
Yeah.
Like, KSI's got 15 other fucking jobs.
And I don't know why Tommy was, like, staying with the grab. Because that only helps KSI.
Exactly.
Like push him off you and
then
box him.
start boxing.
Yeah, he was just like kept doing it.
No, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That was a shitty fight to watch, and the other one was
And then
also a shitty
actually
fight
that was
to
the only fight of the night, really.
Yeah.
Because the other one wasn't really, you can't even call that a fight.
Bro, the Logan fight went exactly how we thought.
Yeah.
It was a decision Logan. And then obviously I didn't think that Dylan was gonna outbox him.
I thought Dylan would box.
Yeah.
I actually thought Dylan would win because he sat so confidently in this seat and was like, I'm fucking going.
I thought he was going to do a little bit more of what he did. At least I called it. I knew he was going to do some UFC shit to
that
stop.
That would figure
Because I know he's like, hey, I don't want to take an L, so I'd be like, nah, stop because I started fighting or some shit like that.
That's what I figured, but I didn't think he would not throw punches for 5.5 rounds or whatever and then just try to, and even to get the takedown. Which is also sad to watch.
Yeah, that was sad.
I mean, you got to give Logan credit for him not wanting to engage as much. Like, Logan boxed well. Logan did box well. He was landing punches, and Dylan kept pressuring him the entire fight. Like, it's not like Dylan just sat in the corner or was running. Dylan kept pressing, but he couldn't get off. He couldn't get off.
Logan's coach, you got to thank him because he was just throwing crazy punches in the beginning. If he would have stayed doing that, he would have tired out.
He would have made a mistake.
And that's
and what Logan's coach said, chill.
Yeah, Logan's coach is like, yo, chill,
Don't make a
pick your
mistake.
spot. And
Yeah.
that's what he made that adjustment and it was a wrap.
Yeah.
Because Dylan was just hoping that he just got tired out.
Yeah, and then he was going to land something big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan wore those punches though. Like
Bro,
he
tough
took
guy.
he took
Tough.
big shots and walked them down. Like that was impressive to me. I kind of expected that he wouldn't get knocked out, but like the level of shots that he took, even body shots, and just like kept on
And
walking.
just kept coming forward.
Yeah, I just thought he would throw, I don't know, 3 punches.
Yeah.
Just
No,
3.
you want him to be more active and throw more, but you got to give Logan credit for that. Listen, if punches aren't landing on you, it's very easy to throw punches. But when they are landing on you, you're worried about that defense.
Yeah.
You're worried about getting caught. And he got caught in a second. I thought Logan was going to drop him in a second. This motherfucker ain't go down.
You got to think Dylan's calculation though is don't get knocked out.
Yeah,
if you don't get knocked out, it's a
his
draw.
win is not getting knocked out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think it was a win.
He didn't fight.
I thought if he lost like a warrior, just based on the way he presented the fight, all right, cool, man. You went out, you got hit, you did your fucking thing. Just see, and I don't know much, but I just saw this weird defensive stance, didn't throw any punches, and that's where I was like, dude, what is this? This is wasting my life. I'm 39. I don't know how long I'm gonna live. This is life that I could be living.
Yeah.
Doing anything else, watching a blank screen.
I'm not
I
gonna
just
lie.
feel meditative.
He owes you 18 minutes.
You owe me 18 minutes, dog.
But the Logan Danis fight was interesting and entertaining. The crowd was into it.
Yeah.
To you.
No.
Not to me.
Everybody there.
Yeah.
Like the energy was insane to everybody there because there was action. You have to understand, like, even if Dylan's just getting pounded by Logan, that's still what people are there to see. They're there to see a fight. The KSI Tommy fight was hugging the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe a punch. That was like beyond
So
boring.
interesting you say that. It's probably just it's different being in the room because watching that on TV, it's like the Logan Danis fight was boring as fuck.
Really?
That's
At least with the KSI shit, it's like, all right, he's trying. He's not doesn't look good, but he's trying.
That's what I'm trying
Completely
to-
opposite in the arena.
Wow.
Because
snooze fest for the second one. People starting to look at their phones, like do other things, like booing, and again, this is their hometown. And it was just like, what the fuck is going on here? But Dylan Logan was like, big shots are getting landed.
Oh, wow.
Big.
I felt bored watching both.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
but the second one was a bit more fun to
watch.
It
was more fun, but again, it was more frustrating than boring.
Yeah.
Because it was like anytime there was action, hug.
Yeah.
And that was, I guess, frustrating and not boring. The Logan-Dylan fight, I found myself bored. Again, maybe I just expected Dylan to throw, and I don't know boxing, so maybe I was an idiot who got sold a bill of goods by Dylan. But like, I thought Dylan was gonna throw.
Yeah.
Logan
it's
threw.
So interesting, like how the narrative changed. Like the narrative was he won't even show up.
Yeah.
And that changed for you to, well, why isn't he just going in there and beating the shit out of him?
I mean, because that's what he said.
Right. He also said he was going to show up to the other fights and then didn't show up.
True.
So there was a narrative. Like even before he even came out, I was sitting there and Mike was next to me. He was like, "Do you think he's going to walk out?"
Wow.
So there was a moment even before the fight started is this fight going to happen?
Yeah.
I got pretty convinced it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But you're still thinking about it a little bit. And the narrative is so shifted to now it's like, yo, why didn't he go there and beat the shit out of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. The energy inside the room, though, a little bit to me felt like high school, after school fight
100%.
energy.
But that makes perfect sense.
And that's what all these
kind of what it is.
YouTube fights are going to be about. That because they're not watching for the skill.
It feels like a little weirder, though. I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy the energy as much. Like, you go to like a real boxing match, or like a UFC fight, and it's like a bunch of fight fans that are ready to see like two warriors really like try
And
to
just
help.
high-level skill.
I can see how you get
Yeah.
put off by that after enough. Like you're in it long enough, and you're like, you know what? I don't really like.
Because like a lot of people trying to be seen, like a lot of people like there's fights breaking out, which is common in fight sports, but like just felt like everyone had cameras, like
that's the
everyone.
other thing.
56 interviews for Andrew.
Everybody's trying to get a clip. Everybody's trying to get a clip of something. Hey, videotaping you and clip it.
Yeah.
Every person coming up to you and Mike is trying to like get you in some sort of weird situation where they have this viral video that's from it. That I agree.
Yeah.
And that was an uncomfortable energy to be around. Because I never feel that in a fight. Like when I was at the UFC, it's not like every single person there was some form of influencer that was going to potentially use me in a compromising situation to get views.
Yeah.
And feeling that, every person that asks, I'm not someone who says no to pictures, I'm not someone who says no to video. I always say every single time. But every time I went into it, I was like, who is this person and how are they gonna try to exploit me?
Did anybody get you?
No, like I was pretty sharp on it.
He was locked in.
Yeah, I was like,
locked in. Like you see him on stage, it's the same vibe. Like, well, people were like coming up to him. He's like, all right, okay, this person. Like he's like triangulating. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know if you drank at all. Like you were like,
no, I was pretty sharp. And I said the same thing in every single interview. Every single interview. I did. This is the Charlemagne tactic that I learned from the red carpet.
I was just gonna say that, but
It's like when I was on the red carpet with him at MTV days, he's such a genius. He would have his shtick ready for whatever they were going to ask him about because they're going to ask the same question every single time. So he had his bit ready to go.
And it kind of kills their clip. Like if they're just using you for a clip, it's
No,
like, well, there's
it doesn't
6
kill
interviews
it.
of me saying the same thing.
The
I'm saying
opposite.
for
It gives them a better clip. Here's your funny thing.
Okay.
Here's your funny thing that you could clip, but now it's on my terms, not your terms. And your terms are always going to be the most lo-fi. So it's just, what is this funny little anecdote that you could give them? So I just had my thing ready to go, and I was just like, whatever they're coming at.
After seeing those fights, is there any interest left for influencer fights?
Yes, 100%.
KSI Jake, you could get me to
Really?
watch.
This is the thing that
You
people
want to see KSI?
It's not about that.
Can I counterpoint? Did you care at all to see Dylan and Logan before they started doing promo? These guys are also entertainers by trade. They're great at promoting their fights. So every fight, pretty much, when it was announced, for the most part, I've been like, eh. And then by the end, I'm like, all right, I want to see how this goes.
Maybe Jake is probably the only one because we actually see him getting better, but the others aren't necessarily getting better. It's like,
yeah, but look at your metric for interest. Your metric for interest is skill. You're like, they're getting better at the skill, and I want to see skill.
yeah,
It's a high school after school fight,
okay,
which I'm interested in every single time. Right? If I see two people on the subway arguing with each other and I think it's going to fight, I'm locked in. And once that is your expectation, and the more you're invested in one of those sides, the more you're going to see it. So it's not about the skill. It's about these two people that you really care about, you either really love or really hate, and you want to see justice, right? And
if I switched my outlook, then maybe I can.
You liked fighting before this. A lot of these kids that are watching, I think, weren't fight fans.
No.
Like I think they grew up in YouTube spaces. They're watching streaming.
I was sort of. It's not surprising, but you go there and
Much
there's
younger
like,
crowd.
14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And so it's like they grew up watching soccer.
Yeah.
Like being a fight fan doesn't happen unless you're like a legacy fight fan. Like my dad got me into fighting early. You don't get into fighting until a little bit later. Maybe as an adult, you start to box for exercise and you're like, oh, this is kind of fun. You start watching some boxing matches, et cetera. Or you have like a friend who's really into it.
I think because we had Mike Tyson, so it's like.
We had this golden age of fucking boxing that we came up in. And even then, it's not even the biggest sport.
To me, it felt like if it was a Mike Tyson fight, everybody stopped what the fuck they were doing that night and had the TV on.
Or if they had what you could call YouTube culture surrounding, which is like those 24/7s. So HBO did those 24/7 series, and all of a sudden, you're like, now I'm invested in this person. That's what these streamers are doing all the time. That's what these YouTubers are doing. They're getting you invested. So if you're going to see the person that you love go into a situation where they could get knocked out, I gotta watch. So I don't think it affects it at all. I mean, the shit was sold the fuck out. It was crazy. Like
they made some money.
Yeah, and they were there early. Like it wasn't they just like with regular boxing, people show up for the last fight. That shit was packed when we showed up.
Word.
Packed.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it's just about making sure there's a reason to see people fight. Like if Jake wanted to fight Logan right now, you don't think that would do crazy numbers?
That one we need to see.
I mean,
like that's the one we need to see, but I don't think we're ever gonna see that.
I think we could see that.
I don't think we see that.
I think we will see. I think
we can see that.
I don't think we see that.
I think we will see that.
Do we want to see that?
Logan,
I don't.
Logan don't want that.
I'm
just saying.
Logan's biggest op.
No, Logan don't want no problems.
I think at the end of the day, these guys are entertainers.
He fixes the
and they know what will make money and what will sell. They sell very well, and nothing will sell better. No fight, maybe in history, will sell better than that. I'm not saying it'll be the best fight or even necessarily a good fight. No fight will have as high stakes as that, ever. Yeah. I'm fighting my brother. I mean, who the fuck is not interested?
Yeah. Logan ain't gonna do that, bro. So after that fight, it's like, Rey Mysterio, I got you, bro. That's what he want. He want a 5-foot Mexican.
Anybody else still a little high?
No.
Come on, Do you think Dylan goes UFC? You see him? He pulled out of Bellator, I think.
Yeah,
I think he got released from Bellator. I mean, that's the most logical move for him. But like, he needs to get training, and he needs to train the hands too.
Yeah,
the jiu-jitsu is nice. He's going to be in the UFC, and he's going to be better than everybody in the UFC at jiu-jitsu. You have that. But we've seen people who are nice at jiu-jitsu, when they go up against guys that can mitigate the jiu-jitsu and have hands, they have real fucking problems. So he needs to get in there, take it serious, and do it. Now, if you're the UFC, you go, this guy can sell the fuck out of a fight. I mean, he just sold 1 million pay-per-view. And people were not tuning in for KSI Tommy.
No.
They're tuning in for Logan and Dylan. So he can sell fights. So if it's not UFC, maybe it's another one of these fledgling promotional companies that wants to get after it. And they could give the bag to a guy who could sell the fuck out of a fight. So let's see if he wants to do it.
Also, you sign up at PrizePicks.com and use the promo code Schultz. They will match your initial deposit up to $100.